Welcome everyone to Cooking with M. I'm your host M, and in today's video, in celebration of Julia's birthday, we'll be making some butter chicken, so let's get started. So to start off, we are doing a quick marination. So I am cubing my chicken breast. I'm using breast because it was on sale, but you're more than welcome to use thighs. So I'm cutting these into about 1-inch cubes. I've used about 6 of these breasts total. Next up, I'm adding some spices. So I'm adding some turmeric, garam masala, paprika, some cumin, and some salt, but that cumin is a little stuck in there. There we go. Once that is done, we can go ahead and mix all of that together, and then realize that we had forgotten to add our garlic and ginger, so I didn't feel like chopping them up, so I went ahead and added some garlic and ginger powder. Next up, I'm adding some Greek yogurt to the mix, and oh yeah, there's a gag. Yeah, not the biggest fan of yogurt. Anyways, I'm adding a little bit of that because I need to, and giving that a good mix together before adding some saran wrap and letting that chill in the fridge for about 4 hours, ideally overnight. Next up, we're going to get our sous chef to come and join us and practice his chopping skills. There he is. So let's see how he does. Look at that. What a chef in the making. One day he'll be the one doing these videos and not me. Anyways, I have peeled a fresh ginger this time, and obviously my son throws everything on the counter, but I'm going ahead and chopping up this ginger. It doesn't need to be super fine because we will be blending up this sauce later on. I'm also doing the same thing with some garlic, just chopping that up as best as I can. It doesn't have to be super fine. And we are doing the same thing with 1 large onion. I had a little bit of a smaller onion, so I went ahead and used 2 of them instead. Once that is good and our night has continued, we can go ahead and start cooking the chicken. So I'm just throwing some of this on a baking sheet and tossing it in the oven for about 12 or so minutes, but I didn't have enough space, so I'm also going to cook some in a pot. So I'm just making sure my oil is nice and hot and letting that get a good sear, and making sure that it is a little bit cooked, not fully cooked, because we're going to let this cook later on in the sauce. So I'm just taking all that chicken out, but using the same pan, or the same pot rather, tossing in some butter and some oil and just scraping off all that goodness at the bottom of there before adding in our onion that we just chopped up, as well as the garlic and ginger. Once that has cooked, we're going to be adding in some spices. So that's going to be the same spices from before. So that's turmeric, garam masala, paprika, cumin, and salt. The recipe calls for about a teaspoon each. I just kind of eyeballed it though. Next up, I've added in a can of tomatoes and just let that simmer and do its thing for about 50 minutes until it turns that nice brown. We're then going to bring that into a blender and realize that it's probably much easier to just dump the whole thing instead of taking a spoonful. And then we're going to blend that up on a nice high power and pour that back into our pot. At this point, I also add my cream in. I usually just add it directly into the blender just so that I can get all that little leftovers that are from the blended sauce and add that back in. Once that is done, put it back on the heat and throw in our chicken and let that rest and let it really soak in all of that sauce. So I kind of let it stand for about 5 to 7 minutes. Once that's done, it's time for my favorite part, which is the taste test. And why don't I just kind of take it away here? That's good. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you make some butter chicken a la M. Thanks for watching, guys, and what other recipes you want me to make? This is a new series, so I'm down for anything. See you guys next time.